Turning now to the very latest developments in the deadly mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport.
And today, dive teams will be back out in the water, resuming their recovery efforts. This comes as all 67 passengers, crew, and service members are presumed dead. The rescue mission switching to a recovery operation. The NTSB says it's now analyzing the plane's 2 black boxes in search of clues as to what happened. Sources also tell CBS News just one air traffic control worker was managing traffic for both helicopters and planes at the time of the crash. A job that's normally done by 2 people. And for more now on the investigation and what they're hoping to learn from those black boxes,
Christina Fan joins us live here in studio with more. Christina?
Chris and Natalie, good morning. CBS News has learned the military helicopter that crashed appears to have been flying above the permitted altitude. This data point is one of several key mysteries officials are trying to solve as they investigate what caused the country's worst air disaster in more than a decade. NTSB investigators have recovered and are now analyzing at their lab the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder from the downed American Airlines jet, trying to figure out what went wrong. CBS News has learned just one air traffic controller was managing helicopter traffic and some airplane traffic, a job normally done by 2 people.
Last night, being at the debris field, I expected to see plane debris, but whenever you look over and you see those bodies laying, that's someone's family. It could be yours.
The moment of impact captured by an airport camera as a military helicopter collided with an American Airlines plane that had departed from Wichita, Kansas.
They were looking for a aircraft versus a helicopter into the Potomac.
Both aircraft were flying at about 400 feet during the crash, but military helicopters are supposed to stay below 200 feet. The Black Hawk helicopter, similar to this one, was on a routine training mission, according to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
A mistake was made, and I think the president is right. There was some sort of an elevation issue that we have immediately begun investigating at the DoD and Army level.
At skating clubs in Virginia and Boston, growing memorials as the tight-knit figure skating community mourns.
We lost family members today. The skating club of Boston is a big family.
That club lost 6 members in the crash, among them 13-year-old Gina Hahn and 16-year-old Spencer Lane, rising stars known for their phenomenal talent. Spencer's father says he was loved by everyone.
From the adults running the club to the smallest skaters to the people that are, competing for a shot at the Olympics, they all just adored him.
And firefighters had to temporarily pause their recovery efforts after sundown Thursday due to unsafe conditions on the water. The work is expected to pick back up today at daybreak. Natalie.
All right, Christina, thanks so much. And now to Reagan Washington National Airport, where flights have resumed as the investigation into the tragedy continues. Alexis Davila is there and walks us through what the scene is like this morning.
Well, the Reagan National Airport is open. We are seeing passengers with their suitcases on the pedestrian walkway. We even see the tram going on here as well. But these passengers are going to have to keep an eye on their flight status, because taking a look at the boards, it shows that a lot of the American Airlines flights are either delayed or even canceled today. But also keep in mind of some of the other activity that's happening here near D.C. The recovery mission is still a go. Divers are expected to go back into the Potomac River today once there is daylight to find those remaining bodies. So far, they have recovered 40 of those bodies, but 27 more are still in the river. Also, NTSB, in the meantime, does have some work to do when it comes to the black boxes that the divers was able to recover for them. This can be key to finding out exactly what went wrong with this collision. So the NTSB has it back at their lab. They're cleaning it up. They're downloading the data, and some of the data involves some things like recordings of the pilot's communication, even measurements of the monitors on the plane, such as the airspeed, the altitude, things like that that they can analyze. Now, also keep in mind that NTSB is the lead agency for this investigation, so any updates that we're going to hear is going to come from them, and that's what we are waiting for. But we do know that it will take about 30 days for them to produce a preliminary report on this investigation, but a full report will take about 1 to 2 years. I'm Alexis Davila for CBS News, New York.
President Trump facing pushback this morning after saying diversity in hiring may have led to the deadly plane crash in Washington. Trump began a press conference Thursday by acknowledging that the nation was grieving, and then moments later he made a quick turn, attacking the Federal Aviation Administration and linking DEI to lowering standards.
The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website.
What evidence have you seen to support these claims?
It just could have been.
I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense.
President Trump has already issued an executive order stopping DEI programs across the federal government, but critics now say Trump is using the crash for political gain.
That you would use such a tragedy to try to reemphasize a point that frankly is without merit. It's just despicable.
That lost their lives.
The president also called for former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, quote, called him a disaster. In response, Buttigieg posted that Trump should, quote, be leading, not lying. Stay with CBS News New York as the investigation into this mid-air collision continues. We'll bring you updates as they come into the newsroom, online at cbsnewyork.com.